You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another installment of Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. That's Marcus.
What's up, brother? What's up?
And that's Jessica.
What up?
Hey. So, I want to talk to you guys about something that I had a discussion with my homeboys the other day.
Oh,
it was
boy.
like 3 or 4 of us. You know, you just have guy talk or whatever. And a couple guys are single.
Guy talk.
A couple guys are married. One guy has a girlfriend. But we were talking about the idea of if you've ever fallen in love with someone while you're already in a relationship. And then we had posed the question, if you have those urges and you have that feeling, do you leave your partner? Could you leave your partner?
What?
Okay.
That sounds like a whole bunch of foolishness, if you ask me.
But
What do you
then,
mean?
Not really.
But then,
you got to think about it.
You got to think about it, though, because then I'm sitting with the homies and I'm like, well, let me look this up, y'all. And I look it up and like, this is a thing. There's like Reddit threads about this. There's like tons of different forums of people have asked this question or have been in a situation where they're like, hey, like I'm in a good relationship. It's not like I'm in a bad relationship, but like I've fallen in love with somebody else and I am attracted to somebody else, you know, and I'm deciding like, should I leave my partner or not? And you get a lot of like mixed answers. You have some people that are like, yo, like, why are you, you know, giving this time to another person you know what I'm saying, in the first place to be able to develop feelings like that. But I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a bunch of what the fuck. So you just don't fall in love with somebody. You just don't. You have to be cheating pretty much on your spouse emotionally, like we already talked about, in order to get to that point. And yeah, leave your fucking spouse. It's weird. Like if you love somebody else, you love somebody else. You can be cool with that person. And you know what? I believe you can love two people. Maybe you can be in love with two people at one time. I think it's possible. And so then you have a decision to make.
Right. I think I agree with that. But I think at the same time, especially, well, I'm not even going to say it's a guy thing, but in general, I've heard of this thing and I'm not going to get this right, but it's like the 80-20 I guess rule or something. You're with somebody that gives you 80% of what you really want, but at that last 20%, you're really
gotta make it up.
Attracted to that, or that's something that could pull you in, and that's something that could pull you away from your spouse because of that 20 that you're not getting. I guess it makes you feel like.
Where'd you hear this at?
I don't know. It might have been Steve Harvey or somebody might have been talking about it. That and and he's the last person that should be talking about relationships.
That last 20%, look to yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. It happens, and people do sometimes I think the grass is greener on the other side. And sometimes it does work for people, but I think most people are afraid to rock the boat in that way. You just said it, Kel, that you don't have to be in a bad relationship, but you're just in a relationship and you just like something else over here.
Okay, well then you just have to deal with liking something else and figure out.
Or you have to shut it down. Or you have to shut it down. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Or you can just be in love from a distance. I have no idea. But if you're in love with somebody else, I don't know. It would make me question my relationship. Why would you want to be giving yourself to somebody half-assed when you feel like you can give yourself to somebody else completely, possibly? I don't know. Don't do that to your partner. Don't do it to yourself.
People are selfish. And
you think you're going to be happier somewhere else and you're in love?
People, again, they don't want to jump. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be like, okay, I'm gonna undo.
Why not
all
rock
it
the
is.
Boat? It's your life. Rock the boat.
People don't think like that.
Well, I say rock it.
People go their whole lives and be uncomfortable.
Rock it. Rock it.
Well, there's I looked this up, and there's a few places that have a few different explanations. So Can you fall in love while in a relationship? You can still feel the full range of human emotions, including love, while you're in a relationship. There is no magic off switch to your emotional self. You are quite likely to fall in love with someone else at some point during even the best of relationships. It happens to most people. There's another one that says, is it
Mm.
wrong to have feelings for someone else while in a relationship? Having feelings for someone else while in a relationship does not inherently make someone a bad person. Human emotions can be complex, and it's natural for feelings to evolve over time. However, how a person handles those feelings is what matters.
Mhm.
And then finally, can a happily married person fall in love with someone else? Yes, it's not uncommon for married men and women to develop feelings for someone outside of their marriage at some point. This can be due to various factors such as emotional connection, attraction, or unmet needs in their current relationship. However, the, however, how the individual handles these feelings varies widely.
Right. It's the you again, you have a choice. When you feel like you're in love with somebody, you have a choice. You can act on it,
Right.
or you can choose to be with the person that you made especially a spouse, a lifetime commitment to. And you have to decide if is it worth it? I don't know. You got to make a decision. You should not do both. And just be in love with somebody, be married and then be in love with somebody and your spouse has no idea.
Right.
And like
that happens every day though. I know it's something that we shouldn't do, and we can
no, but
I
like
guess
he
sit
said,
up
I
here.
believe it's natural. I do believe that you can be in love with multiple people.
I don't know.
do believe that.
I don't know if there's
Jess would be in a poly relationship, Marcus. I'm just
that's what it
kidding.
sounds like. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket.
And,
Keep it in
but
your back
poly
pocket.
And after
people,
the kids is gone,
poly people aren't in relationships though, right?
What do you mean?
Or
Yeah,
you
they
mean,
are.
oh, never mind. I'm thinking of a different term. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. But it's not for me whatever. But I do believe it's possible. I do believe it happens. And it's not anything to condemn or anything. It's make a decision.
And when it comes to this,
because all relationships don't last forever. So make a decision.
Being in love with two people, it's hard to be in love with another person if you're in I guess if you're fully in love with your person, with your spouse, with your girlfriend, whatever. It's hard to be able to take energy away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if you're not 100%, or there's some stuff there, or there's some trauma there, or you're uncomfortable, or whatever, you may be looking around and you might be able to accept that type of energy, right?
And that's what I was going to say. You have to put yourself in a position to fall in love with somebody.
You have to be
like I said,
open.
it doesn't just happen. You just don't look at somebody and go, oh my God,
you got to
entertain.
Yeah, you got to be able to entertain to let
there's a process
that type of energy
of
come
cheating
in.
that happens. So again,
some
you
folks
have a choice to
history.
make.
Some folks have history though. Like there are those relationships where it's like,
oh, your best friend.
Right, like that
Mm-hmm.
or like
twin.
Yeah, hey twin.
Hey twin. Hey work husband. Hey.
But like there's people though.
I bet you it happens there more often than not.
Oh, for sure. But like those people that have those relationships who like they might have known each other, before you got into your current situation, and that like love and respect has always kind of been there, and they've never maybe got together because of timing. It just wasn't, one person was always in a relationship when the other one was single. Like I've seen that plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you always in the back of your head, like, damn, like I always had this like thing. Like I always hear this saying all the time where like there's, at least for men, like you tell guys like, hey man, your woman, if you're not that dude, there's always that one dude that is in your woman's life that like no matter what she says, will always be hanging out in the back of her head if you're not that dude. You
Need
know,
a backup.
Yeah,
we already talked about this.
Not even this, but like,
I mean, things ain't working out with us.
Oh, we already have somebody.
Yeah.
That episode,
Already got
we
it
already
on
have
speed
somebody in the back
dial.
of our head. Oh, already.
Yeah. Well,
I
no,
know
but like,
his friend.
but like, there's all, but it is, and it's funny is it's like it's if you're not that dude. It's usually sometimes some like dusty dude, which is always like really funny because it's like the dusty dude that was like the first love, and it's like, but I was like, he was hella dusty and he just fucked you good. That's the reason why you like this nigga, you know. But I just feel like it's not necessarily the backup, but there's always just that person, that one. You know, it's like, oh, that's the one that got away. You know,
that could be, but I hope that you evolve past your first dusty love and that is not somebody that you go back to. Right. I mean, I don't know. People grow and change, but you broke up for a reason, all that kind of stuff. And so sometimes no, but I can understand the one that got away. I can understand dudes being like that. The one that got away. It's like,
nah, I see more girls do that.
I don't think so.
Girls do that.
You think girls do?
I think it's 50-50.
I think it's guys. Guys are all about
I've been the one that got away. What you mean? Like,
please.
You know, the women try to act like they don't have the one that got away thing, but they do.
No question.
Yeah.
I'm like thinking, do I have one that got? No, but
yeah, but you would never say it though, and that's my point though, right? It's 50-50. I think it's 50-50.
That's weird.
I don't think so. But
no, if you got away for a fucking reason.
That's true too.
Sorry. But not for everybody. Maybe people have amicable breakups or, you know, like you said, sometimes when you're dating when you're younger, even though I said fuck them, don't date them, but you see them when they get older and you're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I wish.
Oh my God. I remember this person, or I like this person even more now, blah, 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 whatever. Either way.
I guess you don't have to be in a bad situation to be caught up in a situation like that. You could be in the best situation, but you could still have these human feelings of attraction,
you could be in the best
or whatever.
And come across somebody.
So I don't really think it matters. I take that back. I said that earlier. Like, yes, it makes it harder if you're in a perfect relationship, but I mean, it's always a chance. People are human, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You can have many loves in your lifetime. Right. So.
Kale, you said, does it make it cheating to have those thoughts?
Yeah, because like, you know how we talk about like emotional cheating and you know, I looked here, some folks, you know, it says, is it cheating having feelings for someone else? Believing that an emotional affair is harmless given that there's no sexual relationship, but most marriage and relationship experts view that as a form of cheating. And I think we've talked about that plenty of times. And then there's another thing that says, no, it's not cheating if you have feelings for someone else. It just means they don't have feelings for you anymore.
It's cheating.
What? Thoughts?
I think that shit is cheating.
Thoughts?
Having feelings for someone else.
Having feelings for someone else. Yes.
Yeah.
And which could come from thoughts though, right? If you're
I don't think
daydreaming about somebody.
Action. You can have a feeling. People feel for people all the time. But it's the action behind. If you act on that feeling, people have feelings all the time. People feel like they want to kill people all the time. Is it right or is it wrong?
That's some Minority Report shit.
It's when you act on that feeling that it becomes a problem. It's like you can talk about, like I said, talk about killing somebody, but it's when you actually do it.
It's a build-up,
that it becomes a crime.
You shouldn't be doing it because it's a build-up. Eventually, you're more apt to do it if you're talking about it, if you're thinking about it all the time.
You're right. If you're talking about it and you're thinking about it. So yeah, like I said, you got a decision to make. This is it's a very personal thing when you feel like you're falling in love with somebody else. First of all, who do you tell? Nobody.
Right.
So
how do you get there though? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. I don't know. Time and the consistency or the entertaining, I guess,
or your boyfriend or spouse has a friend that's always around, or you guys are all hang out all the time in groups, and you're kind of like, all right, that one friend.
The one's funny that's like, yeah, my best friend. It was a clip I saw online. I was like, yeah, my best friend and my boyfriend act like brother and sister, and they show them like wrestling and fighting, and then everyone in the comments are like, is someone who's gonna tell her? You know what I'm saying? that's his girlfriend. That's his girlfriend number 2. Right. Like, oh, the whole thing. I'm just
they're just so close, right?
Yeah, they fight like brother and sister. They're fucking.
Yeah.
Okay.
They fight like brother and sister, but they fuck like no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. This is wild, man. I don't know. Like,
well, that's interesting. Are your friends in love with other women?
No, I don't. No, we just, I don't know. It's just
okay, I was like, is this like, is this coming from?
Wait a minute.
This was
it should be a safe place that guys can come together as a group and have a conversation. Like
right.
I'm already breaking guy code right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Bringing this up.
Right.
So
like, it should be a safe place, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a safe place.
This is the safest place.
But just nobody was like, no one was like, oh man, my girl at home, and I got in contact with my ex. It was just like, hey, y'all, you ever thought about this? Like, this is how we talk. Like, yo, you ever thought about this? Like,
I like that.
Do you think? And like, we just have these discussions and stuff like that, and it's cool because you just hear, and you hear the perspective of other people and other guys what they believe, and like, we don't agree all the time. You know what I'm saying? And we will sit in my buddy Drew's garage, and we will fucking sit there, and I will be smoking a joint, and we will be fucking going at it, and like, really just having these just open discussions or whatever.
I like it. I think it's interesting. I think it's healthy. I think it's interesting. I think it gives food for thought. It gives what to do, maybe what not to do. So,
do women talk like this? Do y'all have conversations about these kind of things?
No.
Really?
No. Maybe some women do, but no, we get together and we talk about our kids, and we talk about our marriages, like and then we talk about other people. But we don't talk about that kind of stuff.
They never break the code, Kel. So that's why I'm saying.
No, we have too much other stuff going on.
We will never know exactly what's going on in these girls.
We don't have time to fall in love with other men because
they have plenty of time because it happens every day. But that's my thing, though. For guys, we kind of show our hand, right? But on the other side, it's a little bit different, right? So, again, I think it's 50-50. I think on both sides that this is going to go on, but where do you draw the line so it doesn't go too far? I guess really should be the question, right? Because things are going to happen. There is going to be attraction. There's going to be stuff if you're in those rooms or you're in those positions to where you have to be around somebody on a regular basis and the energy is there and the connection is there.
Oh, just imagine having to be around somebody that is so beautiful, that is such a good human being, that is into you even though they shouldn't be. Just imagine how hard that would be to fight that off.
Right.
And
you're attracted and
or not fight that off.
Right. But where do you draw the line though? If you're happy at home though, I know you have this stuff going on. So
if you're happy at home, I don't know if you're going to entertain somebody in that way, especially if you're like, you know what? I think I could like really dig this person.
Right.
Or give it a chance. I don't know. Maybe you're missing out. Maybe you got the wrong person.
Is it okay if, and this is kind of in a different light, if let's say you know someone or you meet someone and you're in a good relationship and you go home and you tell your person like, yo, I met this really super bad chick today. I think you think she's super bad. Like, can Can people make those conversations normal of like, yo, like have you ever like this? Here's an example. And I think this is because the edible's kicking in, but just work with me here.
I like it. I like where you're going with this, Kev.
Yeah, but like, has there ever been a time where Marcus has been like, Jess, you see her over there? She's super bad. And you're just like, oh, yeah, she's pretty. She's bad as fuck. Like, is that okay? Is that normal?
Okay. I think if we wouldn't have started our relationship the way we did, it might be normal. But because of how our relationship transpired, we never got to that point where we're like, oh, this now we both might notice something. Right? But together.
Yeah.
But no, we're not like, oh, you see this bad bitch alert over here. You're like,
right. Yeah, no, and that's never been my style though. Like ever
but I
since
think some relationships, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
A lot of people do that, but that's not my style just to be like that. I guess I'm too I'm not open enough to do that. Especially from the background that I come from of like you gotta be sneaky. You don't really want to show your hand. You want to do things behind closed doors, all this different type of stuff, right? So I was never open like that. I didn't feel comfortable being in that space. And yeah.
Gotcha.
When you think about it though, what is the difference between, I know it's a respect thing, but I guess if you're thinking about what's the difference between the thoughts though? I guess versus saying it.
Marcus, because of thoughts. And thoughts aren't reality all the time, right? You can have these feelings and these thoughts, but they're not always, things aren't all, again, like I said, people have crazy intrusive thoughts all the time, but you don't act on them. And I think having a feeling about somebody, it's the same thing.
Right.
It's a feeling. It's not, it doesn't make it gospel, doesn't make it.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I see where you're going. But the thing is, does it linger or does it pass, right? It's
Remember,
okay.
Feelings, they pass.
Right, but not if you're fixated or that you become in love with this person, like the conversation that we're talking about. But you just said
there's a whole process to fall in love with somebody. It's just not, you just don't, I don't know.
Jess, you don't think people just fall in love? Like, you don't think someone, let's say you work with somebody for like 6 months, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
I do. That's in that circumstance, yes. But there has to be a constant interaction. There has to be the will on both parts for that kind of stuff to happen. So you can have those thoughts, but if you're acting on them,
it starts with a thought, though. I mean, if you're in,
yeah, but remember, thoughts, you can go.
If you're in this beautiful relationship, though, it's one thing to be like, okay.
Marcus, if you're in this beautiful relationship, I just can't see it.
No,
I just can't.
I'm not saying you can't see it, but it's like in and out. Everybody has eyes, but you're like, okay, damn, this person is a beautiful person, right? But if you're like, damn, this person is a beautiful person, and like a different,
sometimes
more than like, okay, I see this person again, or just, I don't know, it kind of opens the door from the thought, because you're saying the thoughts, it don't really matter.
No, and thoughts do matter. Like you said, if you continue to have those thoughts and then you start acting on those thoughts and like maybe actively pursuing or talking to this person all the time and actively trying to get to know them, like I feel like there's a process. And
there is a process.
Maybe it happens naturally also, where you just, and then you realize you're
the energy's there because then
again, Marcus, you have a decision to make. I don't think it's right or wrong. You've got a decision to make. And it's wrong if you act on it.
In which way? Because if you're being and for self and taking care of yourself, you might want to get that experience in.
Oh my God, you're taking
no.
Well, you're taking it so far left.
No, wait. Okay, wait. Like,
no.
You're saying that you got a decision to make, right?
Yeah.
And
choices.
Right. Choices. And if you're with your person, okay, choices. But
hey,
you might want to try this.
Okay, well then you have a choice.
And then you tell your person and you move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that simple, but it should be.
I know.
You find somebody, you fall in love, you want to see what that'd be like, you let the other person go.
I mean,
and if it doesn't work out, you got to just deal with what you got to deal with your choice.
I mean, it does go back to that saying, though, right? Like, the grass is only greener what you decide to water it, right? Whatever side you decide to water is going to be greener. I think you just kind of have to, like, you got to kind of keep those fucking thoughts, I guess, to yourself, in my opinion. I think you got to, like, especially, like, if you're, like, in all seriousness, like, if you're, like, really in love with your person and you really like who it is that you're with and your shit is good, like, you might say to yourself, like, damn, if I was in a relationship, I'd probably go see what's up with that, but I'm not. And you just kind of keep it moving, right?
Right.
Like,
it's really that simple.
Yeah, like
sometimes.
But if there's any type of, crack, like I was watching any type of crack in that foundation and something steps right in the right spot.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like something has to be going unaddressed for somebody to
I don't necessarily agree with that because there's always something.
In most
there is no relationship that's perfect, though, right?
I know, but in most cases, I think what you're saying is very rare when you're in a happy relationship to just go fall in love with somebody else. I don't think that, I think that happens less often.
I'm just talking about the question. I'm not even going off. It almost
doesn't make sense. You're happy. I know it happens, but it still doesn't make sense. You're happy, but then you fall in love with somebody else. That takes a lot. Then you weren't, or maybe you are happy.
Yeah.
And it's just, there are so many different ways you can spin this, but my thing
it's always a chance.
If you're happy, I don't see where there would be a need to look towards somebody else.
The thing is,
you can
maybe
admire
you're not looking.
You can acknowledge that person and say, like Kel said, "Hey, this is a cool ass person."
Right. If I wasn't with this, the type of situation, I could be over here.
Right. And what makes you think you could be over there in that case anyway? But still, you can acknowledge and admire. It's like when somebody walks up to you and says you're beautiful or you're handsome, and it's like,
no, Jess has a point, because there's this thing, like, I especially noticed out here in Vegas with like single dudes, like talking to some of these women, where like you almost have to tell some of the homies, like, hey man, like, not every woman wants you, bro. Like, not every bad chick you think, you know what I'm saying, what, like, that you want to crack at, like, think they want you. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I don't want to hear none of that, though. They don't want to hear none of that. I know a lot of dudes none like of that, too.
Yeah, ain't hearing none of that shit. But it's like,
and that's cool, though. That's
and
cool.
then be like, go ahead, catch this sting of rejection.
Yeah, like,
I told you.
Affect them in that way. Yeah,
yeah. Like, there are certain
there.
Yes, there are certain cats out here that really, like, you kind of got to be the friend to be, not even necessarily friends, because like my group of friends ain't like this, but like associates with people that you might have met or know, or you see out, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. You got to be like, yo, bro, look, dog, like,
you
that ain't it.
Not everybody, not
everybody, bro. You know, and I feel like some people need to like stick to what's good for them. We've talked about that before. Like, what you got right now is good enough for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Do that.
And if it's not good, then you do something else.
Right. For some people, it's never enough, though. There's never enough. Kale, just like you talked about some of those dudes that they think every woman that they God's gift, and that's solid. But for some cats aren't really meant to be in long-term relationships, or I guess in a serious relationship, because they can never get enough, right? It's always something else that they're chasing. I believe it's people like that.
Yeah, but I believe that's a personality thing too. I believe that's it. When you're always chasing after something, that's because you ain't started in here yet.
Well,
that is a fact. So, when if you're chasing, you can't chase out here to find happiness. You really can't. You just can't do it. So
yeah,
everybody ain't got it.
Well,
and a lot of people dealing
so
with
I'm
that.
here to tell you.
But I mean, and then you got some people too, though, that just don't. I've heard of cats that just like, you know, I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't ever want to be in a relationship. I don't ever want to be married. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just want to kick it. And, you know, and some people want that. But, you know, anyone that has done that or has been experiencing that knows, like, that shit do get burnt out after a while. That shit get old. Because then you start seeing people now getting married at like 60. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, but like you see those people though, like you get to a certain age, like our parents' age, where like some folks, you know, they are okay with being by themselves and they've been by themselves. But then you have a majority of those boomers when you get to that age where it's like, you think about it, it's like, I don't want to fucking be by myself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they're by themselves because maybe their husband or wife had already passed away. You know
There's
what I'm saying?
A lot of widows.
A lot of widows. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I feel like a lot of folks now, they'll say that shit of like they want to go and chase, but like in the long term, when you get to that 50, I feel like you get to that crossroads 55 and you really start thinking about your like mortality and shit like that. Motherfucker, you don't want to be by yourself. Let's be real.
No, you don't want to be by yourself. And like you said, that's why some people find somebody at 50 or 60 or later, but I don't think everybody's meant to be married, and some people aren't even meant to have a significant other. And that's fine. As long as they're content.
Those are usually the more bitter people though I feel like I've met in my life.
It depends on why they've chosen to be like that. There's, you know, if you're content with being by yourself and you've had a good life and you're okay with extended, you know, nieces and, you know, whatever, your extended support network, that's fine. But when some people are by themselves because they just couldn't get along with anybody or several failed marriages and shit like that, well, yeah, maybe you are bitter. But that's
what I'm saying though, is like, what is it about your personality that like you can't have a person? I guess is my question. Or don't have a person. Not saying that everybody's gonna have a person, but it's like you. I don't know. What is your personality flaw? I guess I don't know.
I don't know why some people don't have people. I don't. I don't think it's a flaw. I just think it is what it is.
Not a flaw, it's just how they are, right?
Yeah.
To be in a relationship, you have to be somewhat of a giver because you have to come off of your shit, and it'll just in order to deal with somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to meet somebody halfway. And if you can't come off your line at all, and you're always staying on that side, it's always going to be friction, right?
Narcissistic people, those are the people that
selfishness
should probably be by themselves. And yeah.
And
but they're the ones that wants a relationship so
they
bad.
They say they do, but they really don't want to do the work, or they don't want to live in that space to be in a relationship. And you can't be all about yourself and be in a relationship. It don't work.
Sure, you can, but it's
nasty.
Your spouse is gonna be falling in love with somebody else.
You're right.
It's serious.
Yep.
Shit.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Well, fuck. Good talk. Good conversation. It's good being back on with y'all. We've been gone for a minute, so it's
for hella.
It's good.
Actually.
It's good to be back doing our thing. I know. Hella. Truly Unruly, y'all. Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. Follow us on all things social at Truly Unruly Podcast. And if you want us to answer any of your questions, you can email us at trulyunruly_podcast. Like, review, subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and of course, watch us every Sunday on Converge. Boom. All right, till next time, y'all. Peace and much love.